tutorial is on the Phillips curve. Okay, I'm going to draw it out. Phillips curve is a graph, and what it does is it demonstrates the short-run relationship between inflation on the y-axis and the unemployment rate on the x-axis. So inflation is expressed as a percent, so is unemployment rate. Okay. So as an example, if I had to guess, I believe today our unemployment rate is around 6%, and our inflation rate, maybe it's actually kind of low. Let's say 1.5%. Okay. So what this demonstrates is that there's a relationship between inflation and unemployment. So as an example, and by the way, this is 0. So if unemployment gets smaller, you would expect that inflation would get bigger. So we would move along the curve like so. So maybe unemployment rate becomes 4%, but the trade-off in the short run is that we'll have more inflation. Okay? So that's the basic gist of the Phillips curve, is that it demonstrates the short-run trade-off between inflation and the unemployment rate. All right? Now, there's more to it. We are also going to be looking at what's called the long-run Phillips curve. By the way, I forgot to label this one. This is the short-run Phillips curve. Okay? Now, the long-run Phillips curve is completely vertical, which means there is no relationship between unemployment and inflation in the long run. Okay? Just like we've learned in the past with our economy on the ADAS graph, we will always end up back on the long-run aggregate supply curve. We may have a higher or a lower price level, but our natural rate of unemployment will change a little bit over time, but not drastically over short-run periods of time. So there is no relationship between unemployment and inflation in the long run. However, as the Phillips curve demonstrates, there is a short-run trade-off. Okay? Now, I've got to show you a couple more things about this because it's important. Okay? Here we've just demonstrated it. This is just the years of unemployment and inflation. So what causes these movements? That's the question we're going to answer next. And really the best way to do it is to draw out the Phillips curve right next to the ADAS graph. Okay? So that's what we're going to do first. So I'm going to draw aggregate demand, aggregate supply curve. Here's our AS curve, aggregate demand. We have real GDP and price level. Okay? I'm also going to put our long-run aggregate supply curve in here. Okay? And then right next to that, I'm going to draw our Phillips curve. Okay, so we have our short-run Phillips curve. And we have unemployment rate on the x-axis, inflation rate on the y. Okay? Now, here's where it gets somewhat interesting. Okay? Here is our current equilibrium over here. Okay? And we'll say this is our current unemployment rate, which corresponds to a full employment level of GDP. And so we'll go ahead and put our price level over here. It involves 1.5% inflation. Now, this point we'll label A. That's our first equilibrium. If we put that over here on our Phillips curve, point A, corresponding with 6% unemployment, 1.5% inflation. Now, I don't know if y'all can see it, but if you look at the AS curve and the Phillips curve, they look like they're a mirror image, right? I think in math we call it a reflection. So the short-run Phillips curve is basically a reflection of the AS curve, and whatever happens on the AS curve, the opposite thing is going to happen on the Phillips curve. So as an example, first thing we have up here is, let's look at what happens when there's a decrease in aggregate demand. Okay, the AD curve shifts left. That results in unemployment that's going to be bigger, because on the ADAS graph, as you move to the left, you have more unemployment. And we're going to have a lower price level. Okay, so it's a little bit of recessionary disinflation going on there. Now, I told you the opposite thing is going to happen over here, sort of opposite. Okay? Since on the AS curve, our new point of equilibrium, B, is down and to the left, the reflection over here is going to be down and to the right. So here we have point B, 1% inflation, 8% unemployment. Okay? So whatever happens on the AS curve, something very similar, except opposite, is going to happen on the Phillips curve. Now let's show an increase in the AD curve. Okay? That's going to create a new equilibrium over here. We'll call it point C. And now you're going to have lower unemployment because there's more GDP. More GDP equals more employment. And we'll have a higher price level. We'll just make it up 2.5%. Okay? How do we show that on the Phillips curve? We're going to move the opposite way. Okay? 2.5% is our new equilibrium, point C, with 4% unemployment. So that's basically how you can make changes on the short-run Phillips curve that correspond to changes on the aggregate supply curve. Okay? That's very important. Now, I mentioned that the AS curve and the Phillips curve are mirror images. Okay? Now, don't get confused. The long-run Phillips curve, even though it actually is a mirror image of the long-run aggregate supply curve, they don't move for the same reason. So don't fall into the trap that that's going to be moving for the same reason. Okay? We'll shift the long-run Phillips curve in a few minutes. All right. Next. So if you remember, RAP, the acronym RAP, will shift the short-run Phillips curve. Actually, you don't remember that, but it will shift the short-run aggregate supply curve, which means the mirror is also going to shift. Okay? So the short-run Phillips curve and the long-run Phillips curve are not static. These things can move left and right. Okay? The short-run Phillips curve is absolutely married to the short-run aggregate supply curve. They're going to move for the exact same reasons. They're just going to move in opposite directions. Okay? So whatever shifts the short-run aggregate supply curve, resource costs, actions of the government, productivity changes, those will also cause the short-run Phillips curve to shift as well. All right, and we already talked about they shift in opposite directions. So we're gonna move on to the next slide, and we're gonna demonstrate those shifts. All right, here we go. First, we're gonna have a decrease in aggregate supply. So let me draw this out. I always recommend, if you're asked a question about the Phillips curve, I absolutely recommend that you first draw the ADAS graph because it will help you clarify your thinking and make sure you do everything correctly. Okay? Aggregate supply. All right, and then right next to it, I'm going to draw the short-run Phillips curve. And label everything, unemployment rate and inflation rate. And we'll have point A right here, corresponding with point A right here. All right, next thing that happens, there's a decrease in aggregate supply. So what might have caused that? Let's say higher oil prices. Okay, so higher oil prices result in the AS curve shifting to the left, giving us a new equilibrium at B. So what's going to happen over here on the Phillips curve is if the AS curve shifted left, the mirror image Phillips curve is going to shift to the right. Okay, and now we have this new equilibrium at B. B is at a higher inflation rate and higher unemployment. Okay, just like it shows over here. Less output means more unemployment and higher price level. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is demonstrate how the Phillips curve moves when there's an increase in aggregate supply. So very quickly here, AS curve shifts to the right. Now we have a third equilibrium. if the AS curve shifted right, that means the long run or the short run Phillips curve has to shift left. Okay? And here's our third equilibrium, C. This is at a lower unemployment rate and a lower price level. Just like over here, more GDP equals less unemployment and lower price level. All right, I hope that helps. Oh, by the way, what caused the AS curve to shift to the right? Maybe we'll just say more productivity. Okay. What is next? All right, long run adjustments. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you the self-correcting economy and then how the Phillips curve also will respond to that. So we have a long run aggregate supply curve, price level, real GDP, AS. Whoa, that's not good enough. I want this to cross exactly where it's supposed to cross. Okay. AD curve. All right, and then short run Phillips curve here. Unemployment rate, inflation rate. I don't know if y'all noticed, but it is a little bit tedious labeling everything, but that's the best way to put it completely in your memory how to draw these graphs, okay? So always draw them out, always label everything, don't take shortcuts. All right, so here's where we start, point A at full employment equilibrium. Now, let's have the economy move into a recession, okay? Aggregate demand curve shifts to the left. Now we have a new equilibrium at B, okay? So if the aggregate demand curve shifted to the left, that created less output, meaning more unemployment, and a lower price level. So the way I'm going to show lower price level and more unemployment is by moving down into the right on the short run Phillips curve. Okay? Now, here's what happens next. Okay, we learned that if nothing is done, this recession will eventually move back to full employment equilibrium. What's going to happen is resource costs are going to adjust to the new lower price level, and the AS curve will shift to the right as a result of it. Now we're at point C. Okay? So on the Phillips curve, what we're going to end up doing, since the AS curve shifted right, we're going to shift the short run Phillips curve, number 2, to the left. And we are right back to full employment equilibrium, point C. So in the long run, I don't know if you caught this, but in the long run, there is absolutely no relationship between inflation and the unemployment rate, okay? In the long run, we will always be on this curve somewhere, just like we will always be on this curve somewhere. All right, very nice. Let's keep on rolling. I wanted to talk about what will actually shift the Phillips curve, or the long run Phillips curve, rather. So the long run Phillips curve will shift, okay? It represents our natural rate of unemployment, okay? So the natural rate of unemployment, you know, in the 1990s, there was thought that our natural rate of unemployment was 4%. We had really low unemployment for that whole decade into the 2000s. But what is it that would cause our natural rate to be higher? Okay. In other words, what would shift the long-run Phillips curve to the right? And the answers are right up here. Okay. If there is zero incentive to remain unemployed, in other words, if you're going to starve if you don't get a job, there is huge incentive for you to get a job when you're unemployed. That would be a situation where 4% unemployment would prevail, or actually 0%. The classical economist would be 100% right. If you starve to death by not working, you will always be working, okay? On the other hand, anytime there's an increase in government benefits while you're unemployed, that will lessen the incentive to get a job. Okay? The strength of unions, well, why would this matter? Okay? The reason this matters is because when you have strong unions, you have higher wages. And higher wages, just like with the minimum wage law, can lead to an increased use of capital instead of labor. Okay? So that would just cause more people to remain unemployed. So if anything like that happens, that's when the long-run Phillips curve will actually shift. Okay? It just means there's a new normal in our economy. The new normal is at a higher unemployment rate. Okay? You take away these benefits here, and the long-run Phillips curve will shift to the left again. There's historical data to back this up. In the 2008 recession, unemployment benefits were extended to 96 weeks. Okay? Typically, unemployment benefits run out after 28 weeks. They were extended to 96 weeks. As soon as the 96 weeks ran out, the unemployment rate dropped. Okay? Because there was less incentive to remain unemployed, people would begin taking jobs that they might not want, but they're going to take.